I gotta pull this.
Let me at least dime you.
Slightly early. Let me get one more. Let me get one more. Oh, let me get one more. It's gonna be harder for me. I have 10 times more likely of a chance to hit that. Calm down. Ah. I got it now. Sorry, you said boss up. One more, one more. Green! What you know about that, Lawrence? The greens. Not on me.
Oh, look
Remember.
at him.
All-Star 2. This dude. What's up with you and tats, my nigga? Look at the big leg. Why'd you post this to YouTube?
Hey everybody, this is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, Chapter 1. A squat gray building containing 34 stories. Over the main entrance, the words Central London Hatchery and Conditions, and in a shield, the world's state motto.
Hey, I'm about to dip out the Discord. I'm doing homework. I'll catch y'all.
The enormous room on the ground floor faced toward the north. Cold for all the summer beyond the
Hello? Y'all hear me on the mic?
heat of the room itself. A harsh, thin light flared, hungrily seeking some drink of waymaker, some
Why you say that?
but finding only the glass and nickel and the shining porcelain of a labyrinth.
That was the biggest cap I've ever heard.
The overalls of
I saw the damn like Pro 2, bro. Shut up.
The light was frozen.
Alright, nigga, you're feeling yourself.
Only from the yellow barrels of the microscopes did it borrow a certain lying along the polished tubes like butter, streak after luscious streak.
Okay, Danny. Green.
Is the fertilizer. Bent over their instruments, 300 fertilizers were plunged as the director of hatcheries and conditioning entered the room. In the scarcely breathing silence,
I hate
Jack
that.
could find a soliloquizing hum or whistle of absorbed concentration. A troop of newly arrived students, very young, pink, and callow, followed nervously, rather abjectly, direct proceedings. Each of them carried a notebook in which, whenever the great man spoke, he desperately
Green.
scribbled. Straight from the horse's mouth, a rare privilege. The DHC for Central London always made a point of personally conducting its new students round the various departments. Just to give you a general idea, for of course some sort of general idea they must have, intelligently, though as little of one if they were to be good and happy members of society as possible. For particulars, as everyone knows, make for virtue.
Bro, my shit. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Philosophers with threat sawyers and stamp collectors.
Even let me.
Tomorrow. Smiling with them with slightly menacing geniality.
You go to my corner,
You'll be
nigga.
settling down to serious work. You won't have time for generality.
Like, bro, why does it like wait?
Meanwhile, it was a privilege. Straight from the horse's mouth. The voice for the black man.
Like I be trying to shoot off rip. That shit like wastes like 3 seconds, bro.
Record dancing to the rhythm. You get a long chin.
Bro, this nigga just like shifts. He's not even fast.
Covered when he was not talking. By his full calorific lists. Full, up, 30, 50, 5. It was hard to say. And
Nigga
anyhow,
is
it
Danny, Danny, give me a
reaching.
chance. This nigga's just sitting in the corner, bro.
occurred to you fast.
Yeah.
I shall begin at the beginning. More zealous.
Why do you do that? Like, move.
Begin at the beginning.
I suck. Hey, whites.
And opening it. Rocks upon racks of numbered testicles. The weak supply of ova kept, he explained, at blood heat, whereas the male candidates entered another door.
Nigga, guard him.
Full blood heat.
Bro, he probably has his 3s max. The fuck? That's why they got boot camp and everything.
Still leaning against
74s can still cook.
while the pencils scurried illogically across the pages, a brief description of the modern fertilizing process.
Let me open in the corner again. I'm greening in your face.
The operation undergone voluntarily for the good of society, not to mention the fact
Didn't
that
even mean to
the
pass that to you.
6 months salary.
It's fine, it's fine.
Continued with some account of the technique for preserving the sized ovary alive and actively developing, passed on to consideration of optimum temperature, salinity, viscosity, referring to the liquid in which the
Bro, this nigga has to have Quincy. You see how fast my dude is just running fucking around? But he not fast.
brought off from the test. However, let out drop by drop on specially formed slides with microscopes, how the eggs
Jump. Shit, gone.
were inspected for abnormalities, counted and transferred to a course receptacle, how, and we now put this in water preparation, this receptacle was immersed in a warm beyond free swimming spermatozoa.
You'll be shooting like I can't flow, but you gotta wait for the ball and everything this year, bro.
Give me.
And how, after 10 minutes, the
Let me
container
talk.
was lifted out of the liquor and its contents re-examined. How, if any of the eggs were fertilized,
Good board, Hemi.
and immersed, if necessary, again. How the fertilized ova went back to the incubators where the alphas and betas remained
He's a baby.
indefinitely launched, while the gametes of deltas and epsilons were brought out again. After only 36 hours in the
You suck.
undergo Bogdanovsky's process.
Give me. Corner.
Bogdanovsky's process, director,
The big dog.
assumes underlying the word.
Fuck it. Hey, we gonna let
One
that.
egg, one embryo,
Yeah,
one adult.
it lied for me.
But a Bacchanostified egg will proliferate, will divide. From 80 to 96 buds, and
fucking
every
suck.
bud will grow into a perfectly formed embryo. And every embryo into
I
a
hate this
full-sized
game.
adult, making 96 human beings grow where only one grew before. Progress. Eventually, the DH Bacchanostification consists of a series of arrests of development. We check the normal growth and, paradoxically,
Bro,
the
I'm
egg
done.
response
I'm done.
by
Bro, like it lagged before I shoot. I don't understand that shit. That's my fault. Great.
Point. On a very slowly moving band, a rack full of testicles
Man.
was in a large metal box. Another rack full was emerging.
How do you know? Fry his ass real quick. 11 points, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound.
About as much as an egg can stand.
He got me in the first half with the turnover though.
Most put out 4 buds. Some all returned to the incubator, where the buds began to develop. Then, after 2 days, were suddenly chilled, and camped. 2, 4, 8. The buds, in their turn, budded, and having budded, were dosed almost to death with alcohol. Consequently,
Alcohol.
again, and having bud out of bud, were thereafter further arrests being generally fatal, left to develop in peace. By which time the original egg was in a fair way to becoming anything from 8 to 9.
Did I wrap up or no?
A prodigious improvement, you will agree, on nature.
I don't think
No.
I did.
Identical twins.
I think my next game I do.
It's like the old viviparous days, when an egg would sometimes accidentally divide, all actually by dozens, scores at a time. Scores, the director repeated, flung out his arms as though he were distributing largesse. Scores. But one of the students was fool enough to ask for the advantage way. My good boy, the director wheeled sharply round on him. Can't you see? He raised a hand. His expression was solemn. Bogdanovsky's process is one of the major instruments social stability. Major instruments of social stability. Standard men and women in uniform batches. The whole of a small factory staffed with the products of a single Bacchanosified egg. 96 identical twins working 96 identical machines. The voice was almost tremulous with enthusiasm. You really know where you are for the first time in history, quoted the planetary motto. Community, identity, stability. Grand words. If we could Bacchanosify indefinitely, the whole problem would be solved. Solved by standard gammas, unwavering deltas, uniform epsilons. Millions of identical twins. The principle of mass production at last applied to biology. But alas, the director shook his head. We can't Bacchanosify indefinitely. 96 seemed to be the limit. 72 a good average. From the same ovary with gametes of the same male to manufacture as many batches of identical twins as possible, that was the best, sadly the second best, that they could do. And even that was difficult. For in nature, it takes 30 years for 200 eggs to reach maturity. But our business is to stabilize the population at this moment, here and now. Dribbling out twins over a quarter of a century. What would we do with that? Obviously no use at all. But Podsnap's technique had immensely accelerated the process of ripening. They could make sure of at least 150 mature eggs within 2 years. Fertilize and Bacchanosified. In other words, multiply by 72, and you get an average of nearly 11,000 brothers and sisters, 150 batches of identical twins, all within 2 years of the same age. And in exceptional cases, we can make one ovary yield us over 15,000 adult individuals. Beckoning to a fair-haired, ruddy young man who happened to be passing at the moment, Mr.
Oh
Foster.
shit, I don't even do the exit ticket for...
Can you tell us the record for a single ovary, Mr. Foster? 16,012 in this center, Mr. Foster replied without hesitation. He spoke very quickly, with a vivacious blue eye, and took an evident pleasure in quoting figures. 16,012 and 189 batches of identicals. But of course, they've done much better, he rattled on, in some of the tropical centers. Singapore has often produced over 16,500, and Mombasa has actually touched the 17,000 mark. But then they have unfair advantages. You should see the way a Negro ovary responds to the Sudafed. It's quite astonishing when you're used to working with European material. Still, he added, with a laugh, but the light of combat was in his eye, and the lift of his chin was challenging. Still, we mean to beat them if we can. I'm working on a wonderful Delta Minus ovary at this moment, only just 18 months old. Over 12,700 children already, were decanted or in embryo. And still going strong. We'll beat them yet. That's the spirit I like, cried the director, and clapped Mr. Foster on the shoulder. Come along with us and give these boys the benefit of your expert knowledge. Mr. Foster smiled modestly. With pleasure, they went. In the bottling room, all was harmonious bustle and ordered activity. Flaps of fresh sow's peritoneum, ready cut into the proper size, came shooting up in little lifts from the organ store in the sub-basement. Whiz and then click. The lift hatch flew open, and the bottle liner had only to reach out a hand, take the flap, insert, smooth down, and before the line
Y'all see this disrespect?
reach along the endless band, whiz, click. Another
Bunch of
flap of
pros.
peritoneum that shot up from the depths, ready to be slipped into yet another bottle, and then to flow with processional pace.
Is he actually a glass getting finisher?
The procession advanced. One by one, the eggs were transferred from their test tubes to the larger containers. Deftly, the peritoneal lining was split, the marula drawn into place, the saline solution poured in, and already the bottle had passed the term of the label notes. Heredity, date of fertilization, membership of Bacchanowski. Details were transferred from test tube to bottle.
I hate
No
this
longer
game.
anonymous, but named, identified. The procession marched slowly on through an opening in the wall, slowly on.
If he's gonna disrespect me from corner and winning this game, I
88
don't care.
cubic meters of hard index, said Mr. Foster, relish as they entered, containing all the relevant information, director, brought up to date every morning, and
I'm just not. I'm not hitting anymore.
on the basis of which they make their calculations. So many individuals of such and such quality, said Mr. Foster, distributed in such and such quantities. The optimum
Use a baby.
rate unfortunately your
Really?
situation is promptly made good. Promptly. Mr. Foster, if you knew the amount of overtime I had to put in after the last Japanese earthquake. He laughed with humor. The predestinators send in their figures to the fertilizers, who give them the embryos they ask for. And the bottles come in here to be predestined in detail, after which they are sent down to the embryo store, where we now proceed ourselves. And opening the door, Mr. Foster led the way down a staircase to the basement. The temperature was still tropical. They
Bro,
descended into a
the
thickening
niggas
twilight.
glitched around Lawrence.
Two doors in the passage with a double curtain ensured the cellar against any possible infiltration of the embryos are like photographic film, said Mr. Foster waggishly as he pushed open the second door. They can only stand red light, and in effect, the sultry darkness into which the students now followed him was visible in crimson, like the darkness of closed eyes on a summer's afternoon. The bulging flanks of row on receding row and tier above tier of bottles glinted with rubies, and among the rubies moved the dim red specters of men and women.
Yeah, I'm not hitting, bro. Y'all got this.
All symptoms. The hum and rattle of
So what?
I said I'm not hitting. Y'all got this, bro.
Give them a few figures, Mr. Foster.
No,
The
just
director.
keep shooting each other.
I said the director was tired of talking.
Yeah,
Mr. Foster was only too happy to give them a few figures. 220 meters long.
I'm gonna try one. I gotta at least green one, bro.
Like chickens drinking, the students lifted their heads for the distance. 3 tiers of racks. Ground floor level, first gallery, second gallery. The spidery steelwork of gallery above gallery faded away into all directions into the darkness. Near them, 3 red ghosts were busily unloading demijohns from a moving staircase. The escalator from the predestination room. Each bottle could be placed on one of 15 racks. Each rack was a conveyor traveling at the rate of
I fucking hate that shit. They don't put nothing in your takeover meter for doing that.
267 days at 8 meters a day. 2,136 meters in all.
Damn.
One circuit of the cellar.
You getting blocks like every game now.
Bro, do you have fucking what's that defensive badge? Defensive leader?
I don't.
Cause I just boosted the shit out of my takeover meter.
Independent existence, so-called. But in the interval, Mr. Foster concluded, we managed to do a lot to them. Oh, a very great deal. That's the spirit I like, said the director once more. Let's walk around. You tell them everything, Mr. Foster. Mr. Foster.
I mean, we wouldn't have known.
Told them of the growing embryo on a bed of keratosis. Made them taste the rich blood surrogate on which it fed. Explained why it had to be stimulated with placentin and thyroxine. Told them of the corpus luteum extract. Showed them the jets through which every 25th meter from 0 to 2040 it was automatically
Back
injected.
to the corner.
Spoke of the gradually increasing doses of pituitary administered during the final 96 meters of their course. Described the artificial internal circulation installed in every bottle in meter 112. Show them the reservoir of blood surrogate, centrifugal pump that kept the liquid moving over the placenta and drove it through the synthetic lung and waste product filter. Referred to the embryo's troublesome tendency to anemia, to the massive doses of hog stomach extract and fetal pulse liver with which, in consequence, it had to be supplied. Shows them the simple mechanism by means of which, during the last 2 meters of every 8, all the embryos were simultaneously shaken into familiarity with movement. Hinted at the gravity of the so-called trauma of camping, and enumerated the precautions taken to minimize, by a suitable training of the bottled embryo, that dangerous shock. Told them of the test for sex carried out in the neighborhood of meter 200, explained the system of labeling, a T for males and a circle for the females, and for those who were destined to become free martins, a question mark, black on a white ground. For of course, said Mr. Foster, in the vast majority of cases, fertility is merely a nuisance. One fertile ovary in 1200, that would really be quite sufficient for our purposes. But we want to have a choice. And of course, one must always have an enormous margin of safety. And so, we allow as many as 30% of female embryos to develop.
Bro, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Fuck it. Hey, big 4 for foes. Big 7 for 7.
Casa has actually touched the 17,000 mark. But then they have a meter from 0 to 2040, it was automatically injected. Spoke of the gradually increasing doses of pituitary administered during the final 96 meters of their course. dose. Just buy the artificial maternal circulation installed in every bottle in year 112. Show them the reservoir blood circuit. Centrifugal pump so it's moving over the placenta and drove it through the synthetic lung and waste product filter. Refer to the embryo's troublesome tendency to anemia. The massive dose of hog stomach extract and fetal cold liver with which, in consequence, it had to be supplied. Shows them the simple mechanism by means of which, during the last 2 meters of every 8, all the embryos were simultaneously shaken into familiarity with movement.
Did I hit All-Star 3?